Okay, this tutorial was requested by a subscriber on my last video. He or she asked, can you add a caption explaining the grayscale coloring in the next video? Yes, I'm here now to explain my process and give you a quick guide on how I use some of the tools for that. On a quick note, I'm sharing the full normal speed process video with my Patreons, including the PSD and my main brush pack. So go there if you are interested and subscribe for the Adventurer tier. It will help me to make more content like this for free. Now, to the point. How do I go from grayscale to color, you ask? Well, we need to talk about adjustment layers first. Actually, two of them. Color balance and gradient maps. I use color balance first to establish a base color. This mode lets me change the color of the shadows, medium and light tones independently. It's a great tool for this purpose. You can set the layer to color mode if you don't want to change the values that you already have in your painting. You can also use gradient maps for the same. This one lets you pick any color you want from each part of the value spectrum. You only have to click the squares below the slide to replace the current color for a new one of your choice, or add a new one by clicking on the low part of the slide itself. It will automatically create a gradient between all the squares like the name said. Just try not to saturate the colors too much. Remember, this is just a base laid down to add more details and color later. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, that you can use color mode again to just affect the colors and not the values as you probably want in this stage. You will see me using color balance in this case to add the base color layer for the background. I like to start painting it first so I can know how the ambient light and environment will affect the color of the subject, in this case the girl. Now I'm painting some details that the background have on the reference picture, but I change it later for some composition matters. On this study I wanted to strongly focus on the face, so I thought that a darker background would be better for that. You'll see it in the final result. Once I have a base background established, I start coloring the subject with the same method. You notice I'm using a bluish tone. That's because I wanted to have a nice vibration and contrast between cool shadows and warm lines. I make this in a new layer in case I wanted to change the color or how strong the effect is later. Now it's time to add some hue. I use a layer in color mode for this step, adding the reds and yellows and trying to not cover all the blues I have so they can mix together, bringing on more vibrancy. Then I use color balance again to make all the palette more cohesive. I also use overlay mode for these steps, but it works differently than color mode. Overlay changes the value if you pick a color that is not 50% gray, meaning that if you pick a light gray it will make things more lighter, and if you pick a dark gray it will make things more darker. I'll talk about how layer mode works and some different uses and tricks that you can do with them. So stay tuned for the next video. Now, to avoid the muddy look of the painting, which you always face in this process, you just have to paint effects that add vibrancy like subsurface scatter, ambient light, global illumination, bloom, etc. I'm skipping some of the process here because it's me just experimenting, something that I recommend you to do as well. Experimenting is one of the things that have helped me to learn fast while having fun. You never know what you can discover by accident. A good trick you can do to spice things a little more is using the replace color tool. You can select a certain color or value and change it into another one, as you can see here. Or use layer modes again, like lighten, difference, or any other, and experiment with the fill and opacity. You can make super interesting effects with this. And that's pretty much the basic you need to know about going from grayscale to color. The rest is just rendering and detailing, some post-processing tricks, and we are done. Have in mind that all of these only work if you have a nice composition, value distribution, proportions, and everything that you should cover in the grayscale process. Of course, you can always experiment along the process, but keep an eye on that. Hope you find this useful. Remember to check my Patreon page if you like to have the full normal speed process of this painting, starting from the grayscale stage, with the PSD and the brushes I normally use. Don't forget to leave a comment below if you like to ask anything or suggest a topic for another video. Subscribe and activate the bell notification if you don't want to miss the next one. Thanks for watching.